Good evening, everyone. Again, evening, maybe not in your side, but yeah, greetings to you all. We are at session number 8 of our workshop on using GoldWave with screen reader. I thank you, everyone, who are continuously staying with me and encouraging me to move forward. It's a long journey. I mean, we have already covered. Today is our session number 8, and I believe that the thing which I still to be covered will take at least 4 5 more sessions. Okay, so it's a long journey, I know. And again, so thank you very much for staying with me. So before I go to the main focused topic, by the way, you know the format actually. First, we take questions directly from you related to GoldWave and related to our previous classes and all. And then I say something in front of you, demonstrate something, I mean, our focused topic. And then at last, we again take one more Q&A session. Okay, so yeah, before I start the actual class, I want to mention something. One, I may take 1 or 2 breaks in between, maybe 1 minute of break. Okay, so please bear with me. Second thing is there is a lot of confusion about how we will deal with the assignment. I mean, some of you have sent me the assignment already. Thank you for that. Now, previously in the case of assignment number 1, I have openly in this session, in one of the sessions, I have demonstrated like what are the pros and cons and everything. But obviously it is good for you, I know, but it takes time. So after a lot of hooks and crooks, finally I have decided that either I will upload one by one audio in the group, in the WhatsApp group, and I'll tell you my point of views, my views about that particular assignment. Obviously, I will cut down the name so that nobody can come to know who is that particular person. Okay, or maybe I'll record a audio complete demonstration, like one by one I'll play and I'll give my reviews. Okay, so I'll go either ways. Now there is a bit of confusion or maybe problems for you people. Maybe I don't know. That is like all of you are not subscribed to the WhatsApp group. Okay, so that's a problem. So first I'll encourage you people. It's a very low traffic group, no off topic posts. So if you don't have much issues, those who have not joined the WhatsApp group already, please join, because it will be easier for me to make a continuous relationship with you, revealing all the insights of our workshop and announcement, and this type of thing, like evaluating the assignments and all. So that's, I'll encourage you to join. Those who still don't want to join, please let me know offline, then I'll send you my review individually to you via another means of communication like email or anything like that. Okay, so that's about the assignment. And so now I'll directly go to the Q&A session. So if you people have any questions, feel free to ask me.
Okay, hello.
Huh.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Clear?
Yes.
Okay, so actually I'm facing a problem in GoldWave. I am using the script which you have sent in the last time, and my GoldWave version is 6.
Uh-huh.
I've selected a short portion. Short portion means like 1 second, so 2 seconds. Then after selection, when I want to copy it or cut it by pressing Ctrl C or X, JAWS says that
No sound
nothing is in the clipboard.
Yeah.
No sound selected, but sound is selected and the sound is copied or cut. I can paste it, but JAWS says like that. So how can I fix this?
It's a known bug actually, because it's JAWS actually inquires the colors and all to determine whether it is copied or not, something like that, I believe, because I have not developed
but,
the core
but
of the script.
when I have selected a long portion,
I know
5 seconds or 10 seconds, or
this is very known
sometimes
issue. Okay.
Sometimes when I paste something by pressing Ctrl E or Ctrl B, it's like end or beginning, JAWS says that uh,
This is a known bug actually, and I don't have the fix. I mean,
bug
but
or
but thankfully it
JAWS
works.
script bug or
No. It's a
yes.
actually see. Normally JAWS or NVDA doesn't announce anything if you copy something, whether it is a 1 second of audio or 1 hour of audio. If you don't use any kind of script or add-on, JAWS or NVDA will say nothing because it is not a like text or something like that. Okay, so there is a kind of implementation where
Can
JAWS
you repeat?
says
Due to network, I am unable to listen.
yeah, actually what I meant to say that by default, if you don't use any script or add-on, if you press Control plus C, Control plus V, Control plus X, your screen reader will announce nothing. Okay, because it is not a text processor or something like that. So JAWS has implemented the feature in the JAWS script where it should announce like copied, like cut, like pasted. Okay, and I strongly believe they have some kind of method. I don't know what method they have used actually to inquire that whether it is copied or not. So this is the known bug that if the selected portion is too small, then JAWS actually cannot identify or recognize whether it is copied or not or something like that. So it says like this that no sound is selected, but it does its duty. So if you copy something, it will be copied, but maybe it will announce nothing selected or nothing is in the clip or something like that. Same is true for paste and cut as well. So it is a known bug and I don't have the fix. I am not a hardcore scripter, just scripter, so I don't have the fix, but it's what it is actually. Okay, so don't worry about the announcement. Okay, just go with that and it will work.
What about NVDA, sir? Is this the same issue with the NVDA?
I don't know whether NVDA either says copied, cut or something like that.
No, actually NVDA has no issue because I have been using NVDA for the last few years actually.
Okay,
so NVDA has
fine.
no issue.
So it's a known bug with any version of JAWS, right?
Any versions of JAWS. Now NVDA, can you confirm?
Okay, so
because
is there any option? Is there any option to stop these announcements like cut, copy, or anything?
not like that. Now only option is to disable the part of the scripts which says like this, okay, which announce the clipboard content or something like that, and that obviously you need to have a little bit of knowledge in the scripting language, JAWS scripting language, then you can do that. Okay, so now I don't know whether, even I don't use NVDA, so I don't know whether NVDA says copied if I press Control plus C while I'm in GoldWave.
No, NVDA does not say copied, but copied, pasted, but NVDA does not say no sound selected, etc, etc.
Yeah, so you just need to
As
bear
like
with
JAWS.
no sound selected announcement if the audio is so small, but it does its duty.
And if you were using JAWS script,
Yeah, so I think it is better to have some kind of information. If I just compare it with the behavior of NVDA, in my very personal point of view, it is like better to get some kind of announcement from the JAWS, and that announcement is mostly right only if the selection is very small, then only it announce the wrong thing like no sound selected or something like that. Okay, but in other time it works pretty well. I mean, it announces pretty well. Okay, so yeah, it's up to you. Even I have stated that you can live without the JAWS script. You don't need to install the JAWS script. Okay, you can live without it because GoldWave still works without the JAWS script.
okay, with the JAWS script here, another problem or embarrassing whatever you can say, that JAWS says, suppose I have two files. I have opened two files in two window. So suppose first file is voice.mp3 and second file is a music.mp3. So when I am pressing Control Tab, JAWS says file music.mp3 or file voice.mp3. And I have to listen file again. I mean,
so
I think it takes a little bit seconds.
It is embarrassing, it is problematic for you, but I strongly believe that it is mostly helpful for most of us. Okay, so it's all about
but
choice.
NVIDIA does not say
because because someone who is very beginner, or maybe if you have 10 files open, Now maybe you have only 2 files, so it's not 2 3 files, it's not a problem for you, because you know either it will be the voice or it will be the music. Okay, so it's not a problematic stuff for you. But I have situations where when I have 10 files opened and I need to know where I am. Okay, and I can also press
No,
like
actually,
if
I can know where I am, but
so
I
you
want to
just
say that
delete
Jaws
the JAWS script,
Jaws
na?
is
It's
Okay,
you
okay.
I
just
think
delete the
we
JAWS
should
Simply,
script.
actually, it's very
we should
simple
learn
thing.
to tolerate. We should learn to tolerate.
Or if you don't want to
It's-
hear this type of information, you don't need the JAWS script. You can simply delete that, and you can just live without it. Okay, because when I am having 5 file opens, I can also press Alt+1 to go to the first file, Alt+2 to go to the second file, and then also I need to know that whether I am in the correct file or not. So it's very much
Correct.
helpful for me to know okay, I am in this window, I am in music.mp3, or I am in sound0005.mp3. It's helpful for me and a lot of people. Now if you don't need that, fine, just delete that JAWS script. Simple solution. Okay, anything else from anybody?
बात कि मैंने कोई चीज हटानी है, मैंने ब्रैकेट लगा लिया, उसके पहले मैंने वहां तक हटानी है, ब्रैकेट, एक राइट वाला ब्रैकेट भी लगा लिया। अब क्या सीधा बस मुझे अब डिलीट दबा देना है तो वो डिलीट हो जाएगा वहां से, इतना ही काफी है?
हाँ
या मुझे
एकदम।
कुछ और?
नहीं, just press the delete key. If you want to
बस
delete, just
वो
press
बने।
the delete key.
तो यानी दोनों ब्रैकेट्स के बीच में जो मैंने सिलेक्ट कर
हाँ।
लिया उसने खुद ब खुद डिलीट हो जाना है।
Yes,
राइट।
Sir, last topic which you taught, no, regarding this average,
हाँ.
averaging this thing. Can you just brief on that, because it was big.
So it was the auto gain feature. So what we do,
It was not auto gain, I think.
so auto gain, average means average gain means auto gain. Are you talking about the noise reduction, noise gate,
No, sir.
auto gain?
You told no regarding RSM. RSM was the previously which was used, and now what we use is
that is the that what is the name of that tool? Volume match or loudness actually.
loudness. Yes.
Yeah.
Can you just brief about loudness?
Okay, so if you can remember about the normalization process, so what normalization tool does, it scans the audio and find the loudest portion or loudest part or loudest signal. Okay, so if my recording has a loudest signal, let's say about -6 dB, then it increase the gain by 6 dB to match it with 0 dB. So it's only scans the loudest portion of the audio, which is fine. But the problem is in some cases, because let's say I'm talking to you in a normal volume, so I'm not like very loud, but in some point maybe accidentally I have a cough, so I like something like that. I was out of my microphone so that it doesn't create any clip. Anyway, so you got the idea. Like if I'm like, let's say I'm playing the piano, so suddenly accidentally or somewhat I pressed it very louder, other notes are soft. So what the normalization tool will do, it will scan this portion. I mean, it will take the volume as reference of this loudest note. Let's say this loudest note is -6 dB, but other notes like this is around let's say 10 dB. So basically what it will do, it will take the loudest part as reference and increase the volume accordingly. Okay, now let's say if I go with that option, loudness, it will scan the whole files and it will make an average of the loudness, the soft and loud and all. There are some mathematical parts which I'll not discuss over here. Okay, so basically it kind of try to find the average loudness of the audio, and depending on your choice, your target volume or something like that, it will increase the volume accordingly. Okay, that's actually its duty. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, fine. So anything else very quickly? Fine. I think you people don't have any questions. So let me move to our focus topic. Today we will discuss about the most important tool of sound designing. Okay, because we are already dealing with effects, and mostly we have covered a much with the volume, like in changing volume, normalization, loudness, and blah blah blah. I know you people are a little bit bored. Now today I will talk about the undoubtedly most important tool of the sound designing, which is equalizer. Just like any creative art, okay, just like music, just like drawing and anything else, sound engineering or sound designing is also an art. In my personal point of view, the main focused or important thing in that sound designing is equalization or equalizer tool, using equalization, anything like that. So we have lot of misconception about equalizer, okay, and we have so many bad practices which I have seen with my friends. Okay, so normally what we know that, okay, I'll put an equalizer, I'll increase the bass like hello hello hello, okay, or maybe I'll increase like the highs, the trebles, so okay. So this is a very basic concept of equalizer. Okay, I'll increase the bass and increase the treble, or maybe something like that. Okay, so that's the main purpose, which normally people knows about it. Basically, equalizer is a frequency, what to say, like frequency drawing tool, you can say, frequency shaping tool. Yeah, it's the better word, frequency shaping tool. So as you know that we people, human being, can listen from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, okay, of frequency. Now what that does mean? What is the difference between 20 hertz and 20 kilohertz? Like 20 hertz is the very bassy area, very thick type of areas, okay, and 20 kilohertz or 20,000 hertz is the very like thin sound. I want to make it as less technical or as less theoretical as possible. My goal is to teach you or demonstrate the stuff in front of you in a very normal language. So let's say this piano, so there's the difference between these two sounds, the bass, you can see. So it is the bass, like low end. Now you may have at least touched the guitar or any string instrument. You know that how the sound is actually made. It's a vibration. Okay, we do have a vocal cord in our just throat, and when we speak it vibrates. You can touch your throat and you can feel it. You can strum in your guitar, okay, you can strum in your guitar and it makes noise, it makes sound. Why? Because the string vibrates. Now you have seen that in guitar, normally in the normal guitar you have 6 strings, and if you touch you can also feel very much like the top string is thicker than the last string, bottom strings, okay. So if, let's say, instead of a normal guitar string, if I insert a rope, a normal tie rope, let's say, then what will happen? There might be no sound. I mean, no sound, no, this is the wrong answer actually. There might be sound which is very low, which you cannot hear until you just put your ears on the guitar body, or maybe there are sound like dong, 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 very ugly, thick type of sound. So what is the difference between a normal rope and a string? The normal rope doesn't vibrate that much in compared to the guitar string. Normal string is made of mainly metal and all, so it vibrates a lot. And similarly you can imagine that a bass string, the top string of the guitar, okay, like this, yeah, this is the E string, which is kind of the low string. I'm not playing the real guitar, by the way, okay. I do have, I'll show you later how to equalize guitar, and then I'll show you So it's a thick string in compared to the last one, maybe like this one. This one is the thinnest string of the guitar. So as this string is the thinnest string, it vibrates much, and as it is the thickest string, it vibrates less. So basically, less the vibration, thicker the sound, more the vibrations, thinner the sound, kind of like this. Okay, let's forget about this all theories and all. Basically, the thick sound, the bass sound is the lower frequency, and high sound, the thin sound is the higher frequencies. Okay, so whatever sound we can hear, we can produce, it is there in a very wide frequency range. Most of them, like my voice, I am talking. So here they sound like I am talking. This sound is also there, and I am talking. This type of sound is there. This is a mixed of sound. Now in some cases, maybe in your voice, maybe this is not much, this bass frequency. If I even go very closer to the microphone, see, I'm okay. So this is a voiceover I'm doing for the National Geographic channel. So you can feel that, okay, there is a lot of bass. So maybe this bass is not present so much in your voice. So what you can do, you can increase these areas, these frequency areas where this sound is there. You can increase it. Okay. Now equalizing means equalizer. So it makes kind of equal. So not only because people have that concept that equalizing is that, as I told you, boost the bass, boost the highs, boost the treble. Not boost. It can also cut. So let's say in my voice, I have a problematic frequency. In some voice, you can see in some people's voice, there's a nasal effect like Okay, so I am kind of having a little bit of nasal right now. Okay, so in some voice, there's some nasal tone. So that nasal effect, that this thing is there in a frequency range, obviously. So if you can find the frequency range, you can turn it down a little bit so that it sounds less nasally. So basically, as I told, that it is a shaping tool. So you need to, if something is missing in your signal, in your audio, in your voice, in your instrument, anything like that, if something is missing, or if you want to focus some particular range of frequency, you can increase that range. If something is problematic in your sound, you can decrease that to make a perfect shape. That is the duty of the equalizer. Now what is your duty? Your duty is to know, to get the idea where these frequencies are situated or located actually. So for example, let's say I am having this piano. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm playing the guitar. Yeah, so I want a little bit of bass, let's say, in the piano. I need to know where I can increase and how much I can increase, because too much is not good. If I go very close, let's say, okay, so it is very bad sound. It is very bad. So you need to know how much you need to apply. It's like the ingredients of any recipes, cooking, anything like that. If you apply in perfect time, in perfect amount, it will taste very good. It will be very tasty. If you apply it too much, too less, then it is problematic. Okay, so today, first I'll not touch GoldWave. See, if you can learn equalizer, you can call yourself 50% sound engineer. So it's the 50% of the job of a sound designer or sound engineer. Okay, so before touching GoldWave, before showing you GoldWave, I want to point out, I want to show like how this frequency works. So let's say this piano, it's a full range of piano. I have not applied any equalizer, anything like that. Now see, I am showing you how it will sound if I mute everything above 200 Hertz. So I told you that we can hear like 20 Hertz to 20 kilohertz or 20,000 Hertz. So how this piano will sound, I mean, what are the contents of this whole piano below 200 Hertz? Okay, so let's say just yeah. So see, and I strongly recommend you, please use your headphone if possible, please, because you cannot, otherwise you cannot hear it properly. See, this is the sound of the piano below 200 Hertz. If I said 100, this is 100. So I am going higher. You cannot hear anything because these are above these tone, like ting 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 ting. These sounds are above 100 frequency. But if I go in the lower portion, now you can little bit of hear it. Okay, now say if I like play sounds below 500 Hertz of this piano. So this sound is there in 500 Hertz. I mean 0 to 500. Though we can hear, not all of us obviously, but we can theoretically we can hear like 20 Hertz to 20 kilohertz. So we are now hearing 20 Hertz to 500 Hertz of this particular piano sound. Okay, if I do the opposite, if I mute 0 to 500 Hertz and play 500 Hertz and above, like 500 Hertz to 20,000 Hertz or 20 kilohertz. See, the bass is very low. If I play the sound above 10,000 Hertz or 10K, sorry. See, listen carefully. Use headphone. So you are getting just the brightest, like tin 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 type of sound. So these frequencies there above 10K. Okay, now I'm going normal. Okay, and let's say I want this piano to be little bright. So I have showed you like what is the frequency above 10K, 10,000 Hertz. So I am increasing the gain around 10,000 Hertz. Increasing the gain, I mean increasing the frequency gain. Okay, the sound which is there near about 10,000, I'm increasing. So see, 2 dB, 9 dB I have increased so much. It should not be like this. So see, it is too now very bright. But if I go back like 8,000 Hertz, if I increase 9 dB by 8,000 Hertz, it is even sounding little better. Okay, let's say if I want to increase the bass of the piano, I want little more bass, like, so it is not sounding that bassy right now. Let's say I am going there and in around 150 hertz, 150 hertz, and increasing the gain by only 4 dB. See, if I just go back this way, if I play normal, okay. Now there is not only bass and treble. I'm continuously talking about bass and treble and all. Okay, there are some more areas, not around 100, 200 hertz and 10,000 and above. There are more frequency like 200, 2000, 3000, 4500. Okay, so they're the mid section. Now what is bass, treble, mid, I'll discuss, no problem. First you need to be clear about the equalizer, otherwise you cannot go one step further. You need to be clear about it, that what it does and how it does, then only you can proceed with that. Otherwise you'll have to depend on the preset and you cannot do anything. And again, I'm saying you, if you do it right, it will sound very good. If you do it wrong, it will sound very bad. So just do it with care. Okay, let's say I'm playing the sound from 2000 hertz to 3000 hertz. Let's try that. Okay, let's try that and show you people. Let's say 2000 to 3000. So
does this mean that below 2000 is muted?
Yes, below
And
2000.
above 3000 is muted?
Yes, yeah.
And
now
above,
the
and above 3000 is muted.
yeah, now the sound which you can hear, see, 0 to 2000 is muted, 3000 to above 20,000 is muted. Only 2000 to 3000 you can hear right now. So you can get an idea about this piano. Okay, so this is just like an idea how it works. Now let me show you with my voice. Let me record something. I'm just recording using this microphone only. Okay. Okay. A simple child that lightly draws its breath and feels its life in every limb. What she know about death? A simple child that lightly draws its breath. So let's say this is my sound which I have recorded, and I'm adding, showing you how it works. See, this is my voice. Let's say I'm just doing a voiceover. Maybe I'm reciting this poem and I want to edit it. I want to equalize it properly. See, a simple child. This is my normal voice. Now, in every voice, when you are just, sending someone, you are editing it, there are some bad frequency in the low end. Don't worry, I'll give you some tips and tricks at the end of the equalizer stuff, like how to proceed with the voice, how to proceed with the vocal, because this type of thing you'll mostly deal with GoldWave. Okay, so I'll give you an getting started guide, like you can start from here, because there is no fixed rule. Remember, there is no fixed rule. So what works for my voice may not work in your voice, because your voice is may be completely different than mine. Okay, so don't try to copy and don't try to use the preset. It mostly doesn't work. Okay, please. Now try to understand how it works, and then you can do it with your own voice and someone else. Obviously there are some getting started, like you can start from this thing instead of starting from the scratch. So see, in every voice, in case of my voice, so I'm just, when I'm saying my voice, my, so there is some stuff there in, especially in the male voice, and if your voice has little bit of bass frequency. Okay, now I'm showing you, like, if I play the sound below 100, see, a simple child that lightly draws its breath and feels its life in every limb. So this is the sound below 100. Some good contents are also there. Now I'm showing you playing the sound below 70 hertz. Listen very carefully. Use headphone, please. A simple child that lightly draws its breath and feels its life in every limb. So you cannot hear, I mean, you cannot make out the words like you can just hear the tone. But these frequency, now maybe you are using headphone, you cannot, if you have a very good professional speaker, maybe a very good home theater, or maybe a very big bassy speaker in your car. Now if you play this now, so this will sound very bad, like this will sound very bad. And in my case, if I go like, okay, so I'm playing sound below 60. So only whom is there, which is bad in our consideration. I should not have this type of sound in my professional mixing. If I just send my voice to any TV channel and anything like that, okay, then I shouldn't have this voice, because you need to know that where your audio will be played. Like, let's say I want to recite a poem and I want to upload it to the YouTube. Then what people use these days to watch or listen YouTube? You may have your mobile, obviously you do have. You have your laptop, which also has thin type of speakers, not very bass. And at the same time, you may listen the same in your car, maybe in your very good home theater, maybe 5.1 surround sound, blah, blah, blah. So it's a huge range. And as a sound engineer, I need to think of everything. Like, it should play well in the mobile, it's having a very thin piece of speaker, and also in a very high-end sound system. So what I can do, I can decrease the gain of this area. I can just decrease, or I can just cut it completely. So let me cut it completely. So below 60 hertz, my voice, this time this area will be muted. So 0 to 60 hertz is now muted. See, a simple child that lightly draws its breath and feels its life in every limb. So this boomy it is gone. Now see, if I feel a simple child, yeah, I do have enough bass in my voice. Okay, but if I feel, okay, let me have little more bass, because it is already bassy. Like, see, using too much, if you put too much chili, too much onion in your dish, it will not taste good. Okay, now the problem which I feel now, who doesn't know about it, I have seen that they either increase it too much bass, too much highs, treble, which is not good. You cannot, you don't hear it in a professional industry. Okay, so let's say I want little bit of bass in my voice. So let me go around maybe 100 hertz. Now I'm saying around 100 hertz because I know about it. Okay, I know that, okay, in 100 hertz I have this type of frequency, because I'm experienced in this. So when you will practice again and again and again, it will take years. It will take years to train your ears. Okay, so just, keep your hopes up. So let me just 100 hertz, and I'm showing you like which area I'll increase. Uh, a simple child that lightly draws its breath. This area around 100. Now it is not like from 100 to above. I am playing maybe let's say around 80 to 120. Around. I don't know the actual value. A simple child that lightly draws. So around this area I have some bass. Maybe little less than that. Maybe let's say 90. Let's try 90. So around 90. So maybe 70 to 110 or 120, something like that. A simple child that lightly draws its breath. Yeah. So this is the area where I am having a very good bass actually, and which I just want to increase a little bit. Okay. So let me first go normal. So this is a normal voice without increasing the bass, just removing the very low end muddy area. A simple child. Now increasing the bass a little bit. A simple child that lightly draws it. Only 3 dB I have increased my bass. See, a simple child that lightly draws its breath. It is sounding so good. If I do it too much, see, I am going too much. 10 dB, 10.3 dB I am increasing. A simple child that lightly draws its breath and feels its life in every limb. It is not good. Too much is not good, because it may play well in the high-end speaker but not so well in your mobile. And again, when I'm talking about the mobile, you may have a 5,000 rupees Android phone, or you may have a 1 lakh rupee iPhone. So when I'm thinking of the mobile, I need to think of the 5,000 rupees mobile as well. Okay, so don't tell me that okay, it is playing pretty well in my iPhone. Don't tell me like that. I know it may play well in your iPhone. Okay, a simple child. So again, I'm going back to maybe 3 dB or 4 dB maximum. A simple child that lightly draws its breath and feels its life in every limb. What she know about death? What would she know about death? Sorry. Anyway, so that's two things I have done so far in my voice with equalizer. One, I have completely cut down the frequency below 60 hertz, and I have increased the gain around maybe 70 to 100 or 110 hertz, just 4 dB to increase the bass. Now see, when I am speaking, yes.
Yeah. So what's the relationship between dB and hertz? Because you used both the terms.
Okay, dB I'll use when I am increasing the gain, and hertz is when I'm selecting the frequency. Okay, first you need to select the frequency. I'll come in details obviously how to proceed with that, but just for example, let's say you have a cloth maybe 24 inches. So you have selected maybe from 15 inches to 20 inches, and you are cutting that particular area using a scissor. So these 15 to 20 inches which you are selecting the frequency, the length, particular length of your cloth. So that can be measured in hertz in terms of frequency. So we are selecting the frequency like around 100. It's in hertz. And now what to do with the frequency? After selecting the frequency, what to do? We can do three things actually. We may completely cut it down so it will be muted completely. Number two, we can increase it little bit, maybe 1 dB, 2 dB, 4 dB, 10 dB, whatever we want. Or you can decrease it by 1 dB, 2 dB, that it will be like -1, -2, -3, -4, like this. Okay, so that is like when we are increasing the volume or the gain, that is measured in dB. Okay, so you see, normally I'm not teaching you how to do the voiceover, but like when I'm now talking to you, I'm talking very normally. Okay, it's my normal voice, very normal voice. I'm not imitating like hello, I'm announcing, I'm doing a presentation like that. But when you do your presentation, when you do your maybe something voiceover or something like that, so you act differently. Okay, like when I was trying to recite the poem, a simple child that lightly draws. So I'm talking like this. If I take your class, if I just go with you like this, so please select the equalizer and then go with that. It will be very boring. Anyway, so basically when I'm doing like this now, a simple child, so I am lacking a bit of mid-range. So if someone who is having a maybe small speakers, maybe a digital talking book player, I mean Daisy player or something like that, maybe in mobile. So if I go with this, a simple child that lightly draws its breath, then someone cannot make the words perfectly, cannot understand the word perfectly, because I am lacking in the somewhat in the mid range, and I'll show you obviously what I mean by mid range. So I know that around 2000 hertz or so I'm having a little bit of mid range. I mean I can increase a little bit of my mid range. Mid range means mid frequency range. Okay, so I'm showing you like okay. Okay, let's a simple child that lightly draws its breath. So this area, a simple child that lightly draws its breath, is little bit of lacking, I feel. A simple child that lightly draws its breath. So what I'll do, I'll just increase this frequency range a little bit. Okay, so let me just play normal. I mean, I have not done with the mid range, I have not increased it. A simple child that lightly draws its breath. Now I'm increasing it a little bit. A simple child that lightly draws its breath. So see, now the mid is a little bit focused. I'm sounding like a fuller sound. So see, this is with the equalizer, a simple child that lightly draws its breath. Now I'm bypassing the equalizer. Now without equalizer, a simple child that lightly draws its breath. Again turning on the equalizer, a simple child that lightly draws its breath. It's may not a hell and heaven difference in your ears right now. I can feel like you may think, okay, what is the difference? It's sounding like same. No, it's a huge difference, but you need to train your ears a little bit to know the difference. So you should listen because see, you are dealing with this course. You have already spent 7, that means around 14 hours, and including today around 16 hours of your valuable times you are spending with me, because you want to be at least a good sound engineer. So that is why you are with me. Okay, so that is why you need to just keep your patience, and you need to listen properly for the next time when you are listening your favorite movies, your favorite music, whatever it is, just listen it carefully. Now see, a simple child that lightly draws its breath. Now I am having some problematic frequency over there. So when I'm it's this S is too much, which can also be fixed with the equalizer. Okay, a simple child that lightly draws its breath. I may need to find this particular area. Okay, I cannot guess where it is. Okay, let me find this particular area. A simple child that lightly draws its. So I am playing the audio and increasing the frequency. So I'm starting from 700. I know it is there around 4500, 5000 or above. Okay, but still I'm starting from 700. Okay, breath and feels its life in every limb. What she know about death? A simple child that lightly draws its breath and feels its life in every limb. A simple child that lightly draws its breath and feels its life in every. A simple child that a simple child that lightly draws its breath and feels its life in every limb. A simple child that lightly draws its breath. So see, it's this is very prominent over there. A simple child that lightly draws its breath. I can even. A simple child that lightly draws its breath and feels its life. A simple child that lightly draws its breath. So around, I'm telling you, around 7300 hertz, I am having this S sound very prominent, which is not good. Okay, fine. So let me try to decrease that area a little bit. So far we have increased in the bass frequency, in the mid frequency, but now we are decreasing. So this is normal. A simple child that lightly draws its breath. Now I'm decreasing it. A simple child that lightly draws its breath and feels it. A simple child that lightly draws its breath. A simple child that lightly draws its breath. So around minus 4.6, I mean 4.6 dB, I have cut. I have reduced, not cut actually, reduced actually. I have reduced the gain, the volume of that particular frequency range around maybe 7,000 to 7,500 or 600, something like that. See, a simple child that lightly draws its breath. Now it is not that.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, as you are doing, are you selecting the entire audio or that particular its wala portion? Because we are not able to hear the jaws. We are just listening the settings you are doing, and then we are just listening the audio. So how to do it? We are not understanding.
Yeah. So see, I have not even showed you how to do that. Even I am not touching GoldWave right now. I am showing in Reaper. Later on,
Okay.
I'll give my jaws and I'll show you how to do the same in GoldWave. Okay, so don't worry.
Okay, sir.
So see, a simple child that lightly draws its breath. Now that S is fine. The final thing which I'll do with my voice, I'll add some air to my voice. Try to add, okay? So I am selecting like 14,000. I'm playing, you see, listen. Okay, this is kind of the airy frequency in my voice. So I'm just increasing it. Now it is normal. A simple child without the air. A simple child that lightly draws its breath. And now I'm increasing the air. A simple child that lightly draws its breath and feels its life in every limb. So see, this is with the equalizer, whole equalizer. A simple child that lightly draws its breath and feels its life in every limb. Now without the equalizer, a simple child that lightly draws its breath and feels its life. Again with the equalizer, a simple child that lightly draws its breath and feels its life in every limb. Okay, so what I can do, I can just around 7,300. I have decreased it by 4.6 dB. I told you to remove the very much. Now I'm just, instead of 4.6, I'm just decreasing it by 3 dB because it is not sounding that great. So now see, a simple child that lightly draws its breath and feels its life in every limb. What she know about death? Sounding good. Now I can go and add different type of effects, reverb and all. So basically you need to know, and you need to gradually know in your regular stuff like your voice, your vocal, your piano, your guitar, whatever you deal with, how it sounds in different frequencies, and then you can shape it out. You need to have a picture in your mind. If you are of, let's say, if you can like draw a photo, I don't know who can do amongst us, but if you can draw a picture, you have some kind of imagination. Okay, I'll draw maybe a sky and a moon and blah blah blah. So here also you need to know what you will draw in your sound, and you need to listen very carefully. The similar stuff, if you want to be a good podcaster, a good voiceover artist, you need to listen others who are famous and see how they sounds like. Okay, and then try to be like them initially. Okay, and similarly, what I think I have suggested previously, listen in proper equipment. If you really want to be a sound engineer, again, see, we have different type of headphones in the market, and we see the features like extra bass, thumpy bass, extra bright, extra treble. But in your case, being a sound engineer, you don't need anything extra. You need the neutral sounding stuff. So you need to listen it as it is. So if it is already increasing the bass, so you don't know whether your sound, your particular audio has enough bass or not, because it is already increasing it. Okay, that's my part of advice. Now I am, instead of going with the theoretical and little bit of demonstration, I am just going to the very practical field. So just after some time I'll load up GoldWave and show you how it works. Now, before I strictly go to GoldWave, I'll want to mention some more stuff about equalizer in front of you. So equalizers are mostly three types. So there are basically three types of equalizer which are available in the market. So as you can imagine, these all digital stops actually came from the analog world. So it is kind of the copy of the analog world. Okay, digital has lot of flexibilities and all. Again, there is a battlefield, which is good, analog or digital, blah blah blah. Okay, I'm not going there, but basically these equalizer, all these were there in the analog days. Even these days a lot of analog gears are sold in very high price. Okay, so we have one kind of equalizer which is called graphics equalizer. Graphics equalizer. So you have obviously used or touched a lot of audio equipments, including your tape recorder, maybe you have a home theater system and all. It all has different type of controls like volume, maybe you have a radio where you can change the channel, tuner and all. So there are different type of controls. So to increasing the, let's say the volume, just giving you the example of volume, we usually get two kind of controls. One is a knob, which we can just turn clockwise or counterclockwise. Clockwise will increase the volume, counterclockwise will decrease the volume. That is one type, which is knob. Second type is slider or fader, which you need to, maybe there is a kind of switch which you can move up or down or left and right to change the volume or anything like that. So basically knob and slider. There were normal tape recorder in our days when we were student. Actually in our days means I'm not so old, only 31 plus. Okay, so in our days when we were student, we do have tape recorder, and those who are little rich, they have the deck system in their home. I don't know the actual term, maybe deck, we call it cassette deck or something like that. I mean where you can connect speakers, box we used to call in that days. Okay, box. And it's a very big machine, mostly made of metal and all. And in deck we basically have lot of sliders and knobs. Not only the volume, in tape recorder we mostly have a volume and one more knob to control the treble, actually brighten and all. Okay, but in the deck system there are multiple knobs. So in some system there are knobs, like multiple knobs which you can turn clockwise or counterclockwise, and in some deck you have that sliders. If you have ever touched an audio mixer which is specially used in stage, you will find both of these knobs and sliders. So basically, let's say you have a piece of machines where there are 10 knobs. That means you need to turn it clockwise or counterclockwise. So let's say you have turned the knob number 1 slightly clockwise. Maybe let's say if I just tell you in dB, let's say in knob number 1 you have increased it by 1 dB. In knob number 2 you increase it by maybe 5 dB. In knob number 3 you have decreased it by 3 dB. So you have made a lot of adjustment of those 10 knobs, but just imagine that when you are seeing, as a sighted point of view, just imagine, okay, when you are seeing these 10 knobs, these knobs are there in their place. I mean, you cannot picturize, like by looking at those 10 knobs at once, you cannot tell someone that, okay, so this knob is like okay, this knob is like 5 dB up, this knob is like 3 dB down. You need to be close to the knob, and there will be slight indication in one point of the knob, and they can just put their eyes on it and okay, measure it, like okay, it is 3 dB or it is 5 dB, because the dBs are mentioned just around the knobs, all around the knobs. Okay, now if you have 10 sliders, for example, instead of knobs, if you have 10 sliders, that means you are moving up and down, let's say. So that means if you put it middle, all the sliders in the mid position, in the center position, then it's a normal picture. I mean, nothing is increased, nothing is decreased, it is normal, flat. Now let's say you have increased the first slider a little bit, that means it is little up than the center. Now you have decreased it, the second slider, now slider number 2 a little bit, so that means it is little bit down from the center. Now you have increased the third slider completely up to the maximum, so it is there in the very up position. So now a sighted person, or even you, if you touch the board, you can feel, okay, so like braille dots, you can feel like, okay, this slider is little up, this slider is little down, this is there in the mid position, this is little down from the mid, this is little up from the mid. So there is a picture actually. And if you are a regular sound engineer, if you are, let's say you have a business where you provide sounds to the stages, okay, like you provide sounds for Sonu Nigam, Arijit Singh and all, so regularly you deal with that, you deal with vocals and all, and you know, okay, for Arijit Singh, okay, he has a very bad frequency below 80 Hertz, so I need to turn it down in 80 Hertz. Okay, he is lacking in the mid session around 2400 Hertz, so let it increase in this slider. So you do have a picture in your mind. So after some days now, without even listening the audio, you can touch it and you can move the slider, okay, there, it is there, this there, okay, so it creates a picture. So that is why these type of equalizer, where there are sliders to control the equalizer, these type of equalizers are called graphics equalizer. What is the good of it? The pros of it. What is the pros? The first pros is obvious. Like you can even you can take a picture in your mobile after equalizing, and then you can just, in the next day, if you're a sighted person, obviously, in the next day you can open the picture and you can set up your sliders accordingly. So you can have a picture in your mind, so it is quicker to rearrange, and that is why it is widely used in the consumer product as well, like deck system, DVD players even. Okay, little good DVD players, there are sliders to control different type of, like bass, treble and all. So this is the graphics equalizer. The next type of equalizer is called, okay, I'm coming to the difference between graphics and other type of equalizer. The second type of equalizer is called parametric equalizer. Why I'm saying all of this to you? Because you do have this type of thing in GoldWave. Though, normally if someone teach you GoldWave, they may not, describe in this detail. Okay. As I am coming from the digital audio workstation, I feel that you need to know in depth of this tool, because this is the most important tool of sound designing. Now see, the other type of equalizer is called parametric equalizer. So first one is called graphics, where you do have sliders, so it creates kind of a graphic or a picture. And second type of equalizer is called parametric equalizer, where you have knobs only, a lot of knobs to control the equalizer. What is the problem of parametric equalizer? You can obviously imagine that it is not so easy to remember, and you need to be a little advanced to use the parametric equalizer. Why? I'll tell you. So in case of the graphics equalizer, you may have different type of equalizer depending on your budget and all, okay. And again, I'm talking about the analog equalizer, and don't worry, the same principle is true for digital equalizer as well, because the concept is same. Okay, so let's say you have purchased a good piece of equalizer, analog gear machine. Okay, and let's say it is having 10 bands. 10 bands means what does it means? 10 bands means you have 10 range of frequency to control. What to control? To increase or decrease the gain. So you have 10 frequency range, okay, to control. Now see, in our example, when I was dealing with my voice, we have, I think, adjusted 6 things so far, if I'm not wrong. One, we have cut down completely below 60 hertz. Second, we have increased the bass frequency around 90 hertz. Third, I think I have increased the mid frequency a little bit, around 2000 hertz. Fourth, I have decreased around 7300 just to remove that sound. And fifth, I think I have added little air around 14,000 hertz. So I have used 6 band actually. So 6 different set of frequencies I have controlled or used in my previous example. Okay, now you have 10 bands equalizer, that means you have maximum 10 frequency range to control. Now in case of graphics equalizer, your frequency ranges are fixed. What do I mean by that? Let's say the most left slider, let's say there is a piece of machine, a board on the top of your table, and there are 10 sliders. Okay, so in the leftmost slider is only controlling the frequency, let's say from 50 to 200 hertz. It is fixed. If it is there in the middle position, center position, it is doing nothing. If you increase it, that means it is increasing the gain of that particular frequency range. What is the frequency range? 50 to 200. If you decrease it, it is decreasing the volume or the gain of that particular frequency range, 50 to 200. Okay, that's the first band. Let's say the second band is controlling frequency from let's say 500 to 1000. The third one is controlling 1000 to 3000. The fourth one is controlling, let's say, 3000 to 4000. So like so on. So the thing is, these are fixed. These frequency ranges are fixed. Now let's say I want to increase the bass of my voice. So hello, hello, hello. I want to make it like hello, hello, hello. So what I'll do, I'll obviously increase the first slider. Now when I'm increasing the first slider, I am increasing the gain of the frequency range of 50 to 200. And let's say I have a very bad tone in around 200 frequency. Actually, I want to increase the frequency from, let's say, 40 to 150, or maybe 50 to 150, let's say 50 to 150. I cannot do that. I cannot change the range, the frequency range. The ranges are fixed and I cannot change it. If it fits to my job, fine. If it doesn't, sorry. I cannot change the range. That's the limitation of the graphics equalizer. But in case of parametric equalizer, you can change the frequency range. So it is like more advanced and also versatile as well. Okay, so obviously in our GoldWave, when we'll don't know whether today we can touch GoldWave or not, because it is already 8:23. So maybe from the next day we'll touch directly to the equalizer section, because it is again the heart of the sound designing. Okay, now in GoldWave we fortunately have both type of equalizers in a different way. I'll show you in a different way. We do have graphics equalizer where the frequencies are fixed. Okay, and we do have parametric equalizer where you can sort of adjust the frequency range. So that's something very good in our GoldWave. Okay, so there are third type of equalizer, which is called paragraphic equalizer. So we have come to know about graphics equalizer.
One quick question.
Yes, please.
Sorry, one quick question. Now, going back to the example you gave with your own voice, you said there were 6 adjustments you made. So when you are adjusting the frequencies of your voice, are there certain frequencies which are being totally muted out from top, bottom, and somewhere in the middle? And or are there frequency gaps which are there, which you don't touch?
No, see, only the first frequency, the first changes we have made I have made in our voice, where I have only muted the frequency below 60 Hertz. So 0 to 60 Hertz is muted. All other adjustment which I have done so far in my voice, I have selected some frequency range and then I have either increase it or decrease it. That means increased or decreased in that particular range. Let's say from 1800 to 2200 I have selected, and then I have increased it by 4 dB. That means only that area is increased by 4 dB. Other areas are as it was. These are not touched. It is not either muted, nor boosted, nor reduced. So that is the case. I mean, I have not changed touched on any other frequency. These are there as it is, normal. Only that set of frequency which I have selected and maybe increased or decreased.
So when you're saying increasing and decreasing, you are actually playing with the gain in that frequency.
Yes. I'm playing with the gain, or better to say the volume. Instead of when we are increasing the volume, we are increasing the total volume of the audio. But in equalizer, we are selecting a particular frequency range and then we are increasing or decreasing the volume. Okay.
Get it. Yeah. Thank you.
So I was talking about the last type of equalizer, which is called paragraphic equalizer. And you can imagine like it is a mix of graphics and parametric. So basically in this type of equalizer, you do have knobs to change certain stuff, which we'll discuss later on. And we do have sliders. Because first when parametric equalizers were introduced, so the general day-to-day people were a little bit confused. Okay, I cannot remember the picture of it and blah blah blah. Okay, now you can imagine like the sighted guys which are amateur sound engineer, they mostly either depends on preset or the picture. Okay, maybe they have seen in some YouTube videos that the guy who is playing with maybe Logic or so or FL Studio, he has made these changes in the equalizer for the vocal. So he tries to remember the picture of it and tries to copy the same in his case without listening it properly, without knowing what he is doing actually. Okay, so that's the normal practice. So that is why later on, just when things were getting little bit advanced, so they have introduced the third type of equalizer, which is called paragraphics, where you can see both your sliders and knobs both together, okay, to control certain stuff. That's the 3 types of equalizer. Okay, and in GoldWave we do have mostly 2 types of equalizer, but it doesn't matter actually, because paragraphic is nothing like we can do the same thing in parametric equalizer. Graphics equalizer is little bit limited but also helpful in some cases. Parametric equalizer is very much versatile. You can do a lot of stuff. Okay, no problem so far. Paragraphic is nothing, in terms of its operation, it is nothing advanced than the parametric. It is same, but in a different design, better to say, in a different UI or design. So I'll have to end it right now. We'll have to go to the next session, the last session, about your questions and answer, because today I cannot touch the GoldWave. We don't have enough time to do so. So in the next class, we will touch the GoldWave. We'll show you how to deal with that in GoldWave. Okay, and I hope that it will help you people. So now it's time for you. If you have any question to ask, feel free to ask me.
There's a reminder for Pradip.
So when you talk about these graphic equalizer and parametric equalizer, hello? Hello?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so you talked about one differential is that one has the slide controls, the other has the knob controls. Is that one difference?
Yeah.
And therefore, so the knob parametric has the knob controls, so the controls are better. Is that what you're saying?
Not better in terms of the knobs and sliders. I mean, I'm not comparing the switches or the sliders and knobs. The main difference is the graphics equalizer, the frequency which you can increase or decrease, because what we are doing with equalizer, we are increasing, we are setting selecting a range of frequency, and then we are either increasing or decreasing that. Now in case of graphics equalizer, the ranges are fixed. So for example, you have a, let's say, 10,000 rupees audio mixer where you can connect maybe 5 microphone, for example. So there you may get equalizer, and that will be a 3-band equalizer. So 3 knobs will be there. One knob will control the bass frequency, one knob will control the mid frequency, and one knob will control the high frequency. Now see, I'm saying bass frequency. Now it depends. Now bass frequencies, maybe you have bass in 100 hertz. Maybe someone else has bass in 150 hertz. Maybe this piano has bass in a different frequency range. Maybe a bass guitar has bass in different frequency range. So calling something in some frequency as bass frequency, it's a little difficult. It's subjective actually. Okay, so as this is a 10,000 rupees audio mixer and it is having only 3 controls, so maybe they have decided, okay, like my bass frequency will be around 150 to 200 hertz. So if you control, if you turn it clockwise or control counterclockwise, it will turn up or turn down the frequency gain of 50 to 200 hertz only. So that is fixed.
Yep.
But in case of parametric equalizer, you can set like, okay, this is the knob, so I can set like, okay, maybe from 50 to 150, maybe from 100 to 250, maybe from 120 to 220. So any range you can select. Okay, that's the goodness of the parametric equalizer.
Parametric.
Yes.
Got it. Yeah.
पर सर क्या ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि पहले हमें सिंपल इक्वलाइजर इस्तेमाल करने आ जाएं, उसके बाद हम थोड़े से कॉम्प्लेक्स इक्वलाइजर्स पे जाएं?
Yeah, obviously. And when we'll start now using GoldWave, first we will deal with the graphics equalizer and then we will move to the parametric one. We'll not touch the parametric first. Any more questions from anybody? And by the way,
what should we practice this week? What should we practice this week?
Okay, what you can do now, you will find equalizer in your GoldWave. If you go to the FX menu, filter submenu, and then you'll get 2 things. One is called parametric equalizer, one is called only equalizer. So use only equalizer, and if you press tab, you'll find some, it is saying like 60 hertz, 500 hertz, some hertz, and you can just press up and down to increase and decrease that. So load up your sound, different type of sound. Maybe first you load maybe your own voice, maybe second you load a complete song, maybe something else, maybe you have a piece of sitar or guitar, something like that. So insert this audio and try to use that equalizer. I mean, what you'll do, you'll increase it too much and preview, then you'll decrease it too much, maybe let's say 60 hertz, you pick 60 hertz and then press up arrow a couple of times, increase it, so too much, extreme, and then preview. Okay, listen it for some times, then stop, then again decrease it too much, preview, stop, then go with the next one, maybe let's say 200 hertz, increase it too much, preview, listen, stop, decrease it too much, preview, listen, stop. So you try to see what is going on. If you are increasing it, what is going on? Okay, so you'll get an idea like how it is dealing with different frequencies. Okay, so just practice with that.
how will we know which equalizer for what?
I mean, which equalizer I mean, you are talking about graphics and parametrics or something else, or you are talking about the
Still, I'm
frequency?
talking about only graphic equalizer.
Okay.
Yeah. Which does what? How will we know?
Yeah, that is why,
वो
like,
तो
see,
सुन के बता जाए.
you need to, like, when you are let's say you have pressed tab and GoldWave says 60 hertz edit combo, so that means it is controlling frequency around 60 hertz. Now increase it and see what is the changes in your sound. Okay, then decrease it completely and see what is lacking right now. Then you'll get an idea, like, okay, around 60 hertz the sound is like this. Okay, around 150 hertz the sound is like this. Okay, now, because let's say you are not a sound engineer, but if I send you a bad mixed vocal, a complete track which is not good mixed, badly mixed, and if I send you a good mixed sound, you can certainly make it out. Okay, this is sounding good and this is sounding bad. You may not tell me, okay, so this is a bad mix because you have increased it too much in this area, you have decreased it too much in that area. You cannot make it out right now, but you can certainly, as a normal audience, you can certainly make out that, okay, this is sounding good and this is sounding bad. Okay, so you have an idea like how it should sound because you have listened maybe millions of songs in your whole life. Okay, so that is why if you just play with the frequency, obviously in that next day I'll show you and I'll give you my advice like what to do with what, but you will get an idea like what is happening when I'm playing with 15 kilohertz. What is it actually it's doing with my sound, with my voice, with my guitar, with my blah. Okay, so that will give you a picture of what the equalizer is actually doing.
So this equalizer is have an impact on your final recording. I mean, you save once you made the right choices, you save it and it becomes part of your recording, or it's more of a playing and a performing kind of tool.
No, it's both. It's both. For example, when I'm talking in front of you right now using my microphone, I have a little bit of equalization applied. Okay, now because my computer is just next to my left hand, and in my PC there are at least 11 fans running. Now if what I did, I decreased the frequency below 80 hertz because this fan this noise is there below 80 hertz, so I have completely muted that area. Okay, so that you don't hear my PC's fan so much. Okay, and same I'll apply if I get a vocal, if I get something where there are bad frequencies, I'll shape it out and I'll save it as it is. I mean, with the equalizer.
So when you're speaking, what are you using to equalize? You're not right now. You're not speaking on GoldWave or Reaper.
Yeah. I have I have a piece of analog gear. Okay, which I'm using to because I do like live thing, like taking class and going live. So that is why I have that analog gear where which is doing this stuff for me right now.
Okay. Great.
Please, people who have joined, you know it already. Please put your name in the chat areas sometime. Okay, before the class ends. Any more questions, please? Okay, then let me end this class for today. Okay, thank you everyone for joining. We'll meet you in
Thank you.
next class. Until then, take care.